I guess we might as well pull a story time while we're cruising here. This kayak had been sitting pretty much since May, since Gary and I did this video. I always carry two, man. You kind of have to.
I'm scared to throw a different one.
There we go.
Oh,
that's a better fish.
That's a nice fish.
That's a better fish.
Yeah, that's a nice fish, man. Good.
There's a bunch of these in here, man. A bunch of them.
I need one.
Oh, look at that.
I need a couple of pigs.
At any rate, and thank goodness that I did this. And you know, I've got that power port on that one and a power port there for the back camera. That's how that whole setup is laid out from the cockpit here. Hadn't used the battery in a while, hadn't used the kayak in quite a while. So knowing that I was coming out here today, I decided to just give the thing a dry run, connected up the battery system, threw the trolling motor on, everything all good, threw the cameras on, and the front camera was completely freaking out. Like completely. It would freeze every time. And this camera is in a media mod, so I can use external miking. That's what you're listening to right there. Hold on, gotta steer. So the front camera kept freezing. And I went through everything. I went through a bunch of cables, went through the switch system, pretty much the entire electrical system. I could not figure out what was wrong. The back camera was doing fine, so I took the front camera with its entire rig, put it on the back. Same thing was happening. I took the back camera, plugged it into the front, and then that freezing situation did not transfer over to this power port. Okay, so I have another media mod. I plug it into the back, everything's working fine. Plug it into the front, camera started freezing again. So pulled the power port. I had an extra one laying around. It's the wrong color, but I did have an extra one laying around. Problem solved. So the only thing that I can think is that when that front power got swamped a little bit in the South Fork, the issue didn't manifest itself right away, but eventually something rusted in there or something, and the voltage regulator crapped out. Well, I put that voltage regulator on not really a test bench, but I connected it up to a battery and put a voltmeter up to the two leads that I know are these 5-volt power. And it was ranging with nothing connected to it between 4 and 7 volts. So what I figured out was that the voltage regulator in that power port, it takes in 12 volts, spits out 5 via USB. That voltage regulator is bad. So again, I don't know how it happened, but it did happen. Moral of the story, when you add a crap load of accessories to your kayak, expect to have problems like that. If you're going out for a long trip, don't expect everything to just work. Do a dry run on it on ground. Make sure that your stuff works before you drive out somewhere 2.5 hours and have that problem. If I had gone out to where I was going to go next week without doing this today and what I did yesterday, I would have gone out there, had this problem, and had no front camera the entire time. Because quite plain and simply, I would not have had the part to fix the issue. So just remember, as you add parts to a kayak, specifically electronics, you are adding things that can potentially break. So you're going to always want to test them, especially since these things are exposed to the elements all the time. Anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. We'll see you on the next one.